Say something.
Test.
All right. Sorry. Oh, hell yes, he's on.
All right.
Yeah.
So just okay, are we gonna do another countdown? Take 3? Okay, all right. Okay, let's just go. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to this evening's online block of films co-sponsored by the Social Justice Film Institute and front and centered for Earth Deserves More Than a Day. Tonight's block of films are focused on climate change and the impact on the Pacific Islands. We start out with a poetic expedition between 2 islander women, one from the Marshall Islands, one from Greenland, connecting the realities of melting glaciers and rising sea levels. Kathy Jetnil-Kiljoner and Aka Niviana use poetry to showcase the linkages between their homelands in the face of climate change. Kathy Jetnil-Kiljoner's series of short films will also be featured, and then we will conclude with another film, a beautiful film called After Earth, which is an immersive short film about 4 women who share their understandings of motherhood and Mother Earth. It is a visually beautiful tour of the Pacific Islands, and thereafter we'll have a post-film discussion with Jess Snow, the filmmaker of After Earth, who can share her message of hope regarding the crisis of climate change. Thanks for joining.
Sister of ice and snow, I'm coming to you from the land of my ancestors, from atolls, sunken volcanoes, undersea descent of sleeping giants.
Sister of ocean and sand, I welcome you to the land of my ancestors, to the land where they sacrificed their lives to make mine possible, to the land of survivors.
I'm coming to you from the land my ancestors chose. Ailang Kainan, Marshall Islands, a country more sea than land.
I welcome you to Nunan, Greenland, the biggest island on Earth.
With me I bring these shells that I picked from the shores of Bikini Atoll and Brunette Dome.
In my hand I hold these rocks, picked from the shores of Nuuk, the foundation of the land I call my home.
With these shells I bring with me a story of long ago. 2 sisters frozen in time on the island of Buyay. One magically turned to stone, the other who chose that life to be rooted by her sister's side. To this day, the two sisters can be seen by the edge of the reef, a lesson in permanence.
With these rocks I bring a story told countless times, a story about Sesuma Amna, mother of the sea, who lives in a cave at the bottom of the ocean. This is a story about the guardian of the sea. She sees the greed in our hearts, the disrespect in our eyes. Every whale, every stream, every iceberg are her children. When we disrespect them, she gives us what we deserve, a lesson in respect. Do we deserve the melting ice, the hungry polar bears coming to our islands, or the colossal icebergs hitting these waters with rage? From one island to another,
I ask for solutions. From one island to another,
I ask for your problems.
let me show you the tide, coming for us faster than we'd like to admit. Let me show you airports underwater, bulldozed reefs, blasted sands, and plans to build new atolls, forcing land from an ancient rising sea, forcing us to imagine turning ourselves to stone.
Can you see our glaciers grown with the weight of the world's heat? I wait for you, here on the land of my ancestors, heart heavy with a continuous thirst for solutions. As I watch this land change while the world remains silent.
Sister of ice and snow, I come to you now, in grief.
Mourning landscapes that are always forced to change. First, through wars inflicted on us.
Then through nuclear waste dumped in our waters.
On our ice.
And now,
This. Sister of ocean and sand, I offer you these rocks, the foundation of my home. May the same unshakable foundation connect us, make us stronger than these colonizing monsters that still to this day devour our lives. The very same beasts that now decide who should live,
who should die? Sister of ice and snow, I offer you these shells and the story of the two sisters as testament, as declaration that despite what we are told, we will not leave. We will choose stone. We will choose to be rooted to this reef forever. From these islands,
we ask for solutions.
From these islands,
we ask, we demand that the world see beyond
ACs, SUVs, their pre-packaged convenience, their oil-slick dreams.
Beyond the belief that tomorrow will never happen, that this is merely an inconvenient truth.
Let me bring my home to yours.
Let's watch as Miami, New York, Shanghai, Amsterdam, London, Rio de Janeiro, and Osaka try to breathe underwater. You think you have decades before your home fall beneath tides?
We have years, we have months before you sacrifice us again, before you watch from your TV screens and computer screens to see if we will still be breathing while you do nothing.
My sister, I offer you these rocks as a reminder that our lives matter more than their power. That life in all form demands the same respect we all give to money.
That these issues will affect each and every one of us. None of us is immune.
And that each and every one of us has to decide if we will rise.
None of us is immune.
And that each and every one of us has to decide if we will rise.
Kali Rainier Avenue Radio App. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio App.
Are you nerdy by
I'm coming to meet you. I'm coming to see you. What stories will I find? Will I find an island or a tomb? To get to this tomb, take a canoe. Take a canoe through miles of scattered sun. Swallow endless, swirling sea. Gulp down radioactive lagoon. Do not bring flowers or speeches. There will be no white stones to scatter along this grave. There will be no songs to sing. How shall we remember you? You were a whole island once. You were breadfruit trees, heavy with green globes of fruit, whispering promises of massive canoes. Crabs dusted with white sand scuttled through pandanus roots. Beneath looming coconut trees, beds of watermelons slept still, swollen with juice. And you were protected by powerful Iroij chiefs birthed from women who could swim pregnant for miles beneath a full moon. Then you became testing ground. 9 nuclear weapons consumed you one by one by one, engulfed in an inferno of blazing heat. You became crater, an empty belly. Plutonium ground into a concrete slurry filled your hollow caverns. You became tomb. You became concrete shell. You became solidified history. Immovable, unforgettable. You were a whole island once. Who remembers you beyond your death? Who would have us forget that you were once green globes of fruit, pandanus roots, and whispers of canoes? Who knows the stories of the life you led before? Here is a story of a turtle goddess. She gifted one of her sons, Ledao, a piece of her shell anointed with power, a leathery green fragment hollow as a piece of bark. It gave Ledao the power to transform into anything, into houses and trees, the shapes of other men, even kindling for the first fire. He almost burned us alive. I am looking for more stories. I look and I look. There must be more to this than incinerated trees, a cracked dome, a rising sea, a leaking nuclear waste with no fence. There must be more to this than a concrete shell that houses death. Here's the story of another shell, anointed with power. Ledao used it to transform into kindling for the first fire.
He gave this fire to a small boy. The boy almost burned his entire village to the ground. Licks of fire leapt from skin and bones from strands of coconut leaves, while the boy cried that I laughed and laughed. This is a story of a people on fire. We pretend it is not burning all of us. Here is the story of the ways we've been tricked, the lies we've been fed. It's not poisonous anymore. Your illnesses are normal. You're fine. You're fine. My belly is a crater empty of stories and answers. Only questions. Hard as concrete. Who gave them this power? Who anointed them with the power to burn?
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Are you nerdy by nature? The Crosscut Ideas Festival is back with captivating conversations to quench your curiosity. Explore issues in science, health, culture, and politics with thought leaders and innovators like Ibram X. Kendi, Audie Cornish, Eric Holder, John Quillen Hill, Andrew Yang, and more. April 29th to May 6th at the Amazon Meeting Center in downtown Seattle. It's the Crosscut Ideas Festival, where curiosity and discovery connect. Get your tickets at crosscut.com/festival.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Queen Bree, inviting you to come join me on Clean Greens Living. Broadcasted Tuesdays, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. On Clean Greens Living, we talk farming, community, and ways to being healthy. So come join me and let's discuss ways to create a healthier you and a healthier community.
Greetings. This is your host, DJ Neftali, Rainier Avenue Radio .world. The best DJ in the Seattle area. You can catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Like I said, this is DJ Neftali, the best reggae in Seattle, Washington, the best radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Mom, right?
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth to me means to provide and establish wealth for generations to come, whether it be through real estate or through other equitable funding.
Personally,
It helps to work with a trusted financial professional to guide and steer you, because you're going to be making some decisions around how you spend your money, how you save your money, how you invest your money. Some of that will be strictly to increase the size of your wealth. Other parts of those investments might be something that you want to do that's key to your purpose and your character. And you can manage to do both.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Inside my niece Bianca's old room, I found 2 Ziplocs stuffed with rolls and rolls. Old room, I found 2 Ziplocs stuffed with rolls and tunnel hair, thin as strands of tumbling seaweed. Maybe it was my sister who stashed away Bianca's locks so that no one could see, trying to save that rootless hair, that hair without a home. There had been a war raging inside Bianca's 6-year-old bones. White cells had staked their flag. They saw it as their destiny. They conquered the territory of her body. They said it was manifested. It all fell out. I felt bald and blank as Bianca's skull when they closed her casket, hymns wafting into the night sky. Bianca loved to eat fish. She ate it fried, ate it raw, ate it whole. She ate it with its head, slurping on the eyeball jelly, leaving only tiny, neat bones. Ate it whole. She ate it with its head, slurping on the eyeball jelly, leaving only tiny, neat bones. The marrow should have worked. They said she had 6 months to live. That's what the doctors told those fishermen over 50 years ago when they were out at sea just miles away from Bikini. The day the sun exploded, rain split open and rained ash on the fishermen's hair and clothes. On that day, those fishermen were quiet. They were neat. They dusted the ash from their hair, reeled in their fish, and turned around their boat to speed home. There is an old Chamorro legend that the women of Guahan once saved their island from a giant coral-eating fish. They hacked off their longer than night sky hair, wove their locks into a magical net, and then they caught the monster fish, and they saved their islands. Thin, rootless fishbone hair, black night sky. Catch this ash, catch moon, catch star. For you, Bianca. For you. Dropped from a basket, a letter from a Micronesian daughter to Hawaii. 1. In the hospitals back home, the wards are always full. The night I brought my daughter, the ward was filled with coughing children, cramped into incubator, newborn-sized beds. Those too big slept on cardboard boxes on the floor. The worst part isn't hearing the rats running outside the doors. The worst part is listening to the other patients crying.
in pain. 2. My friend's job here in Hawaii is to register other Micronesians for healthcare. We helped a girl here once. She was sick, but she was so afraid to go to the ER. She didn't know if she had health insurance, and she was worried about the discrimination. One woman took her mother to the hospital, and the nurses treated them well, until they saw her mother wearing a chuki skirt. 3. In Oregon, my cousin also helps register Micronesians for healthcare. He told me about a Bikini Islander who was a baby when his family was forced to leave their island for the U.S. nuclear testing program. This man's parents, grandparents, siblings, all of them died from cancer. And now he's in Oregon for cancer treatment, but was disqualified for years due to state issues with his healthcare. My cousin asks me, "Did you know they sang all the way to the ship the day they left their island?" 4. There is a legend of a giant demon named Laio who lived deep in the ocean in the north. Laio would rise from the sea as tall as coconut trees and walk to the island of Mediro. There he would steal pandanus, bananas, and taro, place them in his basket, and walk back to his home in the sea. The third time Laio came to Mediro, he was spotted by a man, and startled, he accidentally dropped 5 islands from his basket. "My name is Lare," the man said. "My name is Laio," the demon said. Later, the Iroj of Mediro gathered the people and asked if anyone saw the demon who stole from his land. Lare raised his hand, and when the Iroj asked what the demon's name was, Lare said, "Laio." And from the depths of the sea, Laio heard his name spoken. Laio rose from the ocean, walked to Mediro, wrapped his giant hand around Lare, and ate him.
Well, President Trump, meantime, is working day in and day out and nights to make America safe again. And now he may be taking it a step further as rumors swirl that he's considering deporting immigrants on public assistance.
Minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act pending repeal.
Five. Here is a basket from home. Bowls of horses wrapped in aluminum foil, bottled fetuses unearthed from the field outside, children woven into pandanus mats, grandmothers chewing cardboard box floors. I came to you with greasy demons gorging themselves on my insides, rats scurrying through loose floorboard eyes. In turn, you, Hawaii, gave me a sterile basket of slow shoe shuffles, preserved fruits of disbelief, peeled and pounded suspicion, a flatline heart baked in stone. You must think we came here to borrow your arms, piss from your kidneys, pull your feet on for shoes, to walk in your white coat grin. But all we wanted was seedlings to take back home. You should know the thieves were once in our land too. They sucked the marrow from our reef, cracked open our sun, roasted our stories over a spit, and like you, we bled out our own children for them to feast on. 6. When I moved here 6 years old, I was warned, never name names. Always whisper. The demon won't eat you if it doesn't hear you.
I prepared the package from tight spirals, woven into half moons, black pearl tight spirals. The baskets, dollars shaped by calloused fingers. Inside the basket, I write a message. Wear these earrings to parties, to classes and meetings, to the corner store, the grocery store, and while riding the bus.
Store jewelry, incense, copper coins, and curling letters like this one in this basket. And when others ask you where you got this, you tell them they're from the Marshall Islands. Show them where it is on a map. Tell them we are a proud people toasted dark brown as the carved ribs of a tree stump. Tell them we are descendants of the finest navigators in the world. Tell them our islands were dropped from a basket carried by a giant. Tell them we are the hollow hulls of canoes as fast as the wind slicing through the Pacific Sea. We are wood shavings and drying pandanus leaves and siquipiros at kemems. Tell them we are the sweet harmonies of mothers, aunties, sisters, songs late into night. Tell them we are whispered prayers, the breath of God, a crown of fuchsia flowers encircling Auntie Mary's white seafoam hair. Tell them we are styrofoam cups of Kool-Aid red, waiting patiently for the Ilomid. We are papaya golden sunsets bleeding into a glittering open sea. We are skies uncluttered, majestic and sweeping in their landscape. We are the ocean, terrifying and regal in its power. Tell them we are dusty rubber slippers swiped from concrete doorsteps. We are the ripped seams and the broken door handles of taxis. We are sweaty hands shaking another sweaty hand in heat. Tell them we are days and nights hotter than anything you can imagine. Tell them we are little girls with braids, cartwheeling beneath the rain. We are shards of broken beer bottles burrowed beneath fine, white sand. We are children, flinging like rubber bands across a road clogged with chugging cars. Tell them we only have one road. And after all this, tell them about the water, how we have seen it rising, flooding across our cemeteries, gushing over our seawalls, and crashing against our homes. Tell them what it's like to see the entire ocean level with the land. Tell them we are afraid. Tell them we don't know of the politics or the science, but we see what is in our own backyard. Tell them some of us are old fishermen who believe that God made us a promise. Tell them some of us are a little bit more skeptical of God. But most importantly, tell them we don't want to leave. We've never wanted to leave. And that we are nothing without our islands.
My name is Hinale Moana Goigong Wong Kalu. The song that I composed is entitled Ku Ha'aheo e Ku Hawaii. Stand proud, my Hawaii. And for my people and my nation and my country and my land, I will give my all. My song Ku Ha'aheo was made popular by the protectors of Mauna Kea. Ku Ha'aheo e Ku Hawaii Mama Kakaua O Ku Aina O
o na oiwi o Hawaii nei, no ku'ula hui e ha'awi pau, ai o la mau.
A mother gives birth to a child. A child grows and reaches their capacity, and then must in turn care for the mother, care for the parent, as the child was once cared for in its upbringing. Everything I do now as a teacher in the community has all been strengthened and fortified by my grandparents' presence in my life. Not a day goes by and their images are not illuminated in my head. I remember my maternal grandmother putting her hand over mine. My name at that time was Colin. And she said, Colin, you have to study hard now. One day you're going to become a teacher. I moved on to teach for 13 years at Halaulokahi Hawaiian Public Charter School, and we empowered 2 generations of children to be Hawaiian first in their heart and their mind.
Kuha'aheo e ku'u Hawaii Mamaka o ku'u aina o ke ehu kakahiaka o na owiwi o Hawaii nei no ku'ula hui e ha'awi pau ai o la mau.
My name is Isabella Borgeson. I also go by Isa. Born and raised in Oakland, California. I also have a homeland in Tanawan Leyte in the Philippines. My mom talks a lot about what it means to move back to the Philippines after the typhoon. When she told me that she had to live there because if she didn't know if she would be able to come back after suffering from PTSD from the typhoon, after nearly dying in the typhoon, and after a shifting relationship with what she understood the ocean to now be a place of death rather than a place of healing. Idai, the earth does not forget the way the dead breathe beneath us. There are still boats buried in this sand. The typhoon splintered our mango trees, felled debris, and now steel poles pierce our feet. At home, mothers bend in weeping crescent moons each time the traffic triangle returns our family's corpses. Irai, I worry you will only know ocean as flood. Should the waters continue to rise, and the winds sweep Nanai's Nipa hut home again, I offer you all the ocean cannot swallow. Mama's stomping feet as we cha-cha in the upturned soil at the mass grave with the ghosts of all our drowned cousins. Idai, praise the day the well water no longer ran brown. Grow a garden of all the orchids the typhoon stole from us. And if the waters continue to rise, I gift you my mother, the memory of your Lola swimming in a holy ocean with her barkada. What more can we ask for than flowers to pass on to our daughters? Send your brown into the mouth of our sea. We come from mothers who learn to pray in water. When you sing to this ocean, our ghosts will sing back.
My ghost will sing back. My ghost will will sing back. Sometimes I wish we lived in another world.
My name is Kayla Briette. I'm a 20-year-old filmmaker and composer. On my mom's side, I am Chinese, Dutch, Indonesian, and French. And on my father's side, I'm Prairie Band Potawatomi and Ojibwe.
Lived in another world, free of hurt, simple and sound. See the beauty all around us. Maybe we can let it all consume us greatly in another world.
My dad taught me a lot about how Native Americans from the Prairie Band tribe would look at the trees and the earth and the sun and see such incredible forms of power. We would look at animals for their strengths and for their abilities to fly and these miracles of life that were brought down around us. And, you know, we aren't taking this earth for our own lifetimes. We're only borrowing it from our children. And I, of course, think of the future generations, but specifically, my mind always goes to my baby brother. Of course, I worry because we're headed in a direction that is not sustainable.
Wish we didn't need another world. Wish we didn't need another world. Wish we didn't need it. Don't need it. We don't need another world. We don't need another world. Wish we didn't need another world. Wish we didn't need it. We don't need it. Just look through the eyes of a child. Don't be blind to what you see. We don't need another world, just a future for you and me.
I believe that my body is its own small planet in which I can heal and grow my own flesh and spirit in the ways that I want to. My name is Kit Yan, and I'm transgender. How can I feel at home in this body when my body is not at home in this world? The gift that I want to give to this world is love for your family and community. I got that from my mom. We emigrated here to Hawaii from Yanping, China, the year I was born. My mom uses every free parcel of earth to grow her Chinese vegetables and herbs.
Guava, potato leaf, papaya, tangerine, and orange.
She taught me that food comes from the ground. She taught me that in order to eat, you need seeds, and that in order to have seeds, you have to have a history.
The vegetable, the fruit, even the bird, they can take the seed from the ground and then grow up.
Does the land continue to give birth to generation after generation and it continues to provide for us, it continues to nurture and shelter us. One day, when the mother becomes frail and like a child, that it will be our children to take care of us, and thus the cycle of life.
If there's anything that I hope for the future is that I hope we do not forget what love is.
Ku ha'aheo, e ku ha'aina. Ku ha'aheo, e ku ha'aina. Iwi o Hawaii no ku ula hui e ha'awi mau ai o la mau. No ku ula hui e ha'awi mau ai o la mau.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not stopping a Mercer Island street brawl, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Do you have an idea for a community project in your neighborhood? You could be eligible for up to $50,000 in funding through the City of Seattle's Neighborhood Matching Fund. Grants are awarded to grassroots projects that build stronger communities, with an emphasis on projects led by impacting Black, Indigenous, and people of color BIPOC communities. To learn more about the Neighborhood Matching Fund or to see if your project meets the criteria, visit seattle.gov/neighborhoods/NMF.
Women are not an homogenous group. We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm Granville Emerson along with my partner, Ronald Pepe King. And we host the show Lidline Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, where we talk about football, basketball, local sports, national sports, Seahawks, UW, Seattle U Redhawks, Garfield Bulldogs, all that and more right here on Midline Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Did you know that there's an updated COVID-19 booster that protects you even more than the original vaccines? Even if you got the first vaccinations, now it's time to get this new updated booster shot. It's especially important for adults 50 and over and people with a compromised immune system. Even though you may not hear about people catching COVID as often, each week in King County, some people even end up in the hospital because of it. So check with your loved ones and make sure they've gotten an updated booster. For more information on where to get a COVID vaccine, including free vaccination resources, visit kingcounty.gov/vaccines. kingcounty.gov/vaccines.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.rainieravenue radio.world.
All right, and welcome back, everyone who's joining us out there online for this post-film discussion of our second block of films today, focused on Pacific Islands and the impact of climate change. Joining us momentarily is Jess Snow, one of the filmmakers from our block of films. They are the filmmaker of After Earth, and we'll be having a conversation about their experience and the intended message of, I can't hear. Yeah, I don't know if I can, I'll just, okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, great. Now, just before Jess arrives, I wanted to actually mention how at Front and Centered, and not just at Front and Centered, but we've been having these conversations about culture and structure and how climate change, environmental justice issues, and just the kind of movement that is, oh, okay, wonderful. The kind of movement that is inherently intersectional is really a comprehensive strategy of actions and thoughts. And so while Front and Centered also focuses on policy change, among other things, and certainly community building and community development, we are also about cultural change. And this week is very much about the kind of cultural change that our coalition and the movement for climate justice is seeking. So what we have here is a conversation with Jess Snow, who we are going to ask just a few questions to give us some perspective on the kind of message and also potential next film project that they will be working on in relation to environmental justice. Jess, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here right now. I wasn't
Hi,
able
welcome.
to get back home in time, so I have to do this
I
from my
can't
car.
hear. We're having some technical challenges, just a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Jess?
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Are you currently in California?
No, I'm in New York right now.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I know there's a time difference.
Yeah.
So really appreciate you joining us here in West Coast time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and your film is such a beautiful film. And I was just saying a few words about how the work of climate justice and frontline communities who are involved in this work are often involved in a multidimensional set of strategies. We're certainly engaged in community organizing, in community education, in policy change, but also what your film and a number of other creatives and artists and filmmakers are involved in is also about influencing cultural change.
Mm-hmm.
And your film, After Earth, was such a beautiful rendition of that intersection of motherhood, identity, and Mother Earth. And so I thought I would ask you, as you look back a number of years after making that film, what were your initial thoughts then, the message that you were seeking to convey, and what you think the next film project might be if you had a chance to do a sequel to that film? I know that was a lot of questions to throw at you, so just wanted to set the context though.
Thank you so much. Yeah, After Earth, I made it in 2017, and I really wanted to create a space for these four women who are featured in the film to be able to share an offering for the earth for the generations to come, and what that offering would be. And for each person, it was a different thing. Like for Hina, it was the song that she wrote for the protectors of Mauna Kea, but in the context of After Earth, it was the first time that she sang that song to her mom, because usually she sings to the water protectors and to the mountain, but in this film, I asked everybody to channel their offering to their mothers. So she sang the film to her mom, of her mom.
Wow.
And then the and I think it really came together how other offerings came together, and when I was directing it, is my audio okay, or
Is her audio, I can hear you, but a little faintly.
okay? I'm just gonna put on my headphones. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Bear with us for just a second, Jess.
Okay.
And everyone online.
Okay.
Oh, you know what's going on? If your mic on your computer is on, it's going to loop. So
Okay.
since you're talking,
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me, Jess?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
She can hear me, but I can't hear her, so.
yeah, I can't hear her either. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to use your mic on your side, yet leave her audio intact.
Okay. Yeah, I think we might want to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, next time we have to make sure that her mic on her computer is off.
Okay, so should I
Because,
turn?
yeah, it's feeding back. That's what it's doing.
I see.
Because you're
Okay.
talking through your mic here and your
And
mic
to
on
here.
here. Yeah.
You want me to put on
Feeding
mute? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, you can still hear me though, Jess, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know you got a problem.
This is the first time that we're actually having this hybrid kind of approach,
Oh,
Jess.
no worries.
Yeah,
Can
screening films and also gathering for kind of online and in-person conversation.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I can't quite hear Jess just yet. I think I may have lost that audio. Ah, okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear her now perfectly.
Okay. When I put my headphones in, it
And
doesn't
I
work.
just lost you again.
My headphones don't work.
Right, right.
So we do the monitor on stage.
Yeah, we'll have a computer to a monitor like we did the last time, and her face would be just like this. Can you hear her on?
I can't quite hear her.
Can you hear me now?
I think it was actually exactly what it is right now. When I could hear Jess just fine, but then it went out.
Does Hannah need any help with that, or, what's,
Aurora can't hear her.
Aurora can't hear her. Yeah.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Jess?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think if we aren't able to troubleshoot this, because I'm mindful of your time as well, but if we can't troubleshoot this in the next minute or so, and mindful of the audience's just time as well, we might just have to kind of delay and consider the possibility of reconnecting with you, Jess.
Worries.
If that's okay, but
I'm not sure what happened. It was fine, and then, I changed something. There was some feedback, now she can't hear.
so we'll just give it one more minute, yeah.
So, I'm gonna have him go to a commercial break. Okay.
Let me know when the commercial.
Aurora, can you just say we're going to commercial for that?
We're going to go to a commercial break and address the technical issues.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not busy tearing the roof off the suckers, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
The beat of the fire.
Hello, my name is Pastor Derek Lane, and I live and pastor here in the Othello community. I'm vaccinated because I know how illness can hurt a community. As a grandfather, I am boosted to help protect my 3.5-year-old granddaughter who can't be. I don't want to see members of my community die needlessly. And as a pastor, I've had funerals for those who caught COVID, but none from taking the vaccine. If you have questions, need resources, or want to make an appointment, visit kingcounty.gov/vaccine.
The beat of the fox with nastiness is back on K-Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice from UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GMS.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the High Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K-Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
That's right. Noi. Peace.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince and Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Night Beat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
The beat of the fox. K-Fox Night Beat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The Underground Surround Sound Start Time with Paul Pearson.
Tuning in, my name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Oh, my man. You know, everybody goes through a storm sometimes.
God is, and Rainier Avenue Radio.world have a new address. We're now located at 4916 Rainier Avenue South in Columbia City, 98118. God is still loving on your community, being a blessing and meeting the needs of the people. Don't miss any of our amazing shows. Your favorite community radio station. Tune in and come on down and get some free food and let us continue to love on you. Don't forget to tune in. See you soon for free food and free entertainment with God Is and Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe things down, clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting ill, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.rainieravenue radio.world.
All right. Hi, and welcome back to Earth Deserves More Than a Day. Jess, welcome again to
Thank you.
Earth Deserves More Than a Day here out in Seattle, Washington. We just screened your film as the final film of the Pacific Islander block focused on climate change and the intersectional issues. And I know that we were just getting started our conversation, but for the technical difficulties, so I'm going to maybe put out a little bit more context about the fact that we've been talking a lot about culture and structure and the kinds of changes that our climate justice movement, our many coalition community group members have been engaged in, everything from racial justice to economic justice to environmental laws and policies that need to be changed. And so what your film and the other films today or tonight really kind of represent to us is the kind of cultural change that is so necessary and oftentimes the tipping point really for the kind of social justice change that we need the world over. And so I wanted to ask you, as a creative and filmmaker, about your thoughts regarding the making of the film, and also sort of how do you feel about this now? How do you feel about your film? Does the message kind of change, and what might be the other projects that are going through your mind in light of the fact that the climate crisis is pretty much in the headlines almost every day?
So I made this film in 2017, and now a lot of time has passed, but I still feel all the things in the film, like the offerings that the 4 women featured in the film, are extremely relevant to everything that is happening today. And my filmmaking process has changed a lot over the last few years, and I think when I made After Earth, I was more interested in creating. Are you able to hear me? Or?
I am able to hear.
No, someone stepped on the thing.
Oh, okay, no worries.
All right.
I wanted to make sure that the four women's voices and their relationships with their mothers they were being able to have a chance as creative collaborators in the film, and it was more like the film was a platform for them to respond to, like, an offering that they would leave in the earth for generations to come, and then I asked them to leave their offering as if they were leaving it to their mothers. So the film was kind of like an open canvas for them to share about the kinds of songs and wishes and manifestations they wanted to leave behind for the earth. So it's kind of like a very like poetic meditation of other stories put together. And but I think my filmmaking process has changed a lot since then. Now I mostly make narrative films, and everything is very scripted, and I don't make documentary much as before, but After Earth still is a very special project to me. And what was really important was, one of my favorite parts about it was being able to collaborate with Hina in such a powerful way, because she said that the song that she gave as an offering was a song that she sang with the protectors of Mauna Kea, but this was the first time that she sang it to her mother, because she was holding a photo of her mother. So it was like this performance of the song in the film was dedicated to her mom. So it felt like we were able to make a connection between honoring the earth and honoring her mom and stuff. And then that song kind of became a thread that tied together the rest of the film.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything really came together, even though they were so different, the different stories. They were really woven together.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you, now that your filmmaking approach has changed since 2017, in light of the narrative approach and the very scripted approach now that you're taking to film projects, what might a kind of take two version of After Earth look like for you?
I think like After Earth, I'm actually like interested in just like addressing or even like critiquing more the aspect of the Asian settler colonialism that is a little bit present in the film, because like one of the um characters, Kit Yan, and his mom Ping, who is featured in the film, like it talks a little bit about how like they emigrated from China to Hawaii, and then she brought her Chinese vegetables and herbs there, and I think that there is probably a way to talk about it, about how like people who are like immigrants to Hawaii, or just like or just anyone who is migrating to a land that is indigenous land, like what are ways to build like to be mindful of the lands that they are migrating to, and to cultivate like mutually beneficial relationships of solidarity. And if there is a way to do that, I would be interested in exploring that more, because I think in After Earth we kind of left that narrative at the end without like going like deeper into it, and I do think it's something that people should be aware of and like talk about more. And I'm also like not someone who is from Hawaii, and like Kit was the co-writer and the producer of the film. He grew up there. Like him and his mom, like they migrated there when he was like a baby. But I think I would just want to explore that more, because I think there are ways where like people who move there, like they could be not mindful of the like, or just anyone who moves anywhere, they can be not mindful of the indigenous lands that they are on. So I'm just interested in how like Asian people can cultivate these more mutually beneficial relationships, and how we as Asian people could follow and support the leadership of indigenous people more. So yeah.
Are you working on any film project like that?
I am not, but it's something that I'm thinking about in some of the murals that I'm doing.
Some of the murals. So you're also doing other creative work outside of film, or in addition to film. Can you say a little bit about how some of your thoughts regarding like my earlier comments about cultural and structural change, and that there are just some elements about some fundamental elements about climate justice and the movement that we are trying to push forward with, and the new kinds of ways of living that can only be powerfully and effectively relayed as an artist and a creative? And perhaps you can share a little bit about why you are actively engaged in this kind of creative work.
I think we need art to help us imagine like what kind of possible futures there are, where there's alternate realities that is beyond the climate grief that we are facing. And in order to like organize about how to get there, we need artists to help us imagine that future first. So that's part of why I'm interested in doing the work that I'm doing. And I also think that making art and films is a way to help build community and build relationships, because I feel like movements, they need really strong relationships in order to get there. So.
I don't think I should say anything else, Jess, because
Thank you.
I think you put it so beautifully, so poetically, so succinctly. I want to thank you for spending time with us, allowing us to show your beautiful film, for sharing your creative thoughts around your craft, and also for sharing the messages and stories of the different women in the film. So if you have a message to leave us with on this week leading up to Earth Day, we would certainly welcome your last words.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't really have a message beyond what the film is trying to say. So yeah.
Well, thank you. I am so appreciative of the fact that you also were bearing with us with the earlier technical difficulties. This is our first time going into this kind of hybrid format. And so appreciate that you were willing to be part of our week-long experience.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jess.
Yeah. Thank you. Hope you have a good night.
All right. You too. Take care. And that concludes day one of Earth Deserves More Than a Day. Please join us tomorrow for more kitchen conversations, more stories, some art, and more films. Back here at Columbia City Theater and Rainier Avenue Radio. Thanks so much. We're going right into a commercial break.